Hey everybody, this is Terry Jackson with Domicile One Realty. Glad to see you back, and if you're new, welcome to the channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about seller financing or contract for deed. This is a scenario where a seller owns his property outright or her property outright, and now the buyer is coming along and they're offering financing terms for them. Like instead of the bank, the seller now will basically hold the note and provide the terms, the interest rate, the payoff amount, and how long for the buyer. They're taking that on there. There are lots of reasons why a seller might opt to do this. Maybe they're selling a property that's not moving very well, or they need to sell it maybe a little quickly, and they can set an interest rate that might be more appealing than a person could get at their bank. And maybe they're opting to give credit to somebody who can't get it in another scenario as well. Something to think about. So in these videos, I think I'm going to make two, a part 1 and 2. And part 1 is going to be the seller aspect, focus on them. And then part 2 will be the buyer and talk about what you need to look for each of those scenarios. Because when it's done correctly, you can have a successful transaction using seller financing, and it can work for all the parties. Just want to make sure we cover a few points. Okay, just to start out with, just for clarification purposes too, when a seller is selling your property using seller financing, meaning you are extending credit basically after a down payment for the buyer to make installment payments to you, you are not going to get all your money at closing. You're going to get whatever down payment you're asking for, but that is it. Everything else will be in installment payments for whatever length of time that you want it to be, or what you both agree on for that matter. So let's say you want to sell a $300,000 property and you're asking for a 10% down payment. You'll get $30,000 at closing, minus a few closing costs that you would have there. At any rate, know that it's not going to be everything. Now that might be attractive to some people. Maybe this is not your primary home and you don't want to take a big tax or capital gain hit on a property, and installment payments sound just fine to you. By the way, not a tax expert here. Don't even play one on TV for you people watching who remember that line. So check with your CPA or some resource there who is a good resource if you're wondering about tax planning on that. Okay, what are the terms I want? Do I want to have this in a 20-year term, a 10-year term? What interest rate do I want to have, on this? Are you doing this for somebody who maybe can't get financing any other way? Well, you might be asking for what the current rate is out there, or maybe even a little higher. It just depends for the risk that you might be taking. Again, that's just going to depend on you, or you may just want to be giving and reduce it, and because maybe you're having trouble moving this property and you're trying to incentivize people to actually take that. So there are a lot of ways you can use interest rate to your advantage. Now, regarding getting the buyer and vetting the buyer, just like since you're the lender now, you want to check and see what their credit score is. I would imagine you're going to want to check and see what's their ability to repay this loan, the likelihood that they can repay it. So whether it's land or a single family home, condo, you name it, whatever it is, you want to see that you have some reason to believe that they're going to be good for it, so to speak. So you might want to check with some resources online to see how can you pull credit checks, the kinds of things that you want. Maybe you want to do an employment verification, income verification, all kinds of things there. So, but just bear that in mind. That's a smart thing to do. So you will not go through this hassle to just have to reclaim the property later on. Also, now the other issue I want to talk about is you want to keep this as professional as possible. And in doing so, I would really recommend that you let maybe an escrow company, a title company, service that contract. Here's what I mean by that. They will charge an initial fee, and they'll charge a monthly fee. Usually it's very low, like $10, $20 probably to service that. And they might gather account information, and they're the third party where the buyer is sending the money and you are receiving the money. It's not like the buyer is going to come to your door every month and knock on your door or leave it under a mat. You want it to be through this contract servicing group. I would really, really recommend that. The hassle is alleviated, and they, of course, are going to want to know all the terms of your deal too, about the late payments, how much, when, what's going to be the monthly payment, what's going to be principal, what's going to be interest. So they will be able to organize all that too. So I really do recommend that. So if you think about it, we've covered that, okay, this could be a viable way for you to sell your. Now, is there a lot of this going on in the KC Metro right now, what the rates are? I'm making this video right now in early April of 2025. Not really. In the residential world, I checked out Cass County, Jackson County, Johnson County combined right now. They're 2,800 homes that are currently active, and only 13 are allowing for this kind of financing. And if you look for the entire MLS, all the surrounding counties are over 5,000 active homes, residential homes out, and only 37 are allowing for this. Honestly, I've seen this more with just land acreage, this kind of a financing option. In fact, again, with all the counties surrounding our metro, 2,600 active listings for land right now, and 72 of them are 72 pieces of property are allowing for this type of financing. So you do see it a little bit more in the land scenario there too. So if that's where you're interested, or you're thinking about, making a sale there, know that this might be a viable option for you, but do make sure you cover your bases and check out all those areas that I talked about. I hope this helps everybody, and you have a great day.